Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are reacting to and breaking down Olivia Rodrigo on SNL. What I think is either the second or third performance or time she's been on SNL. Definitely, she's performed Driver's License, and now we have this one. And this set essentially, because I know she performs a couple songs each time, and I feel like there was probably something in the middle. I'm assuming probably for her Sour album. I can't bring it up to the top of my head, but I'm sure I've seen it actually, and I'm sure that it was phenomenal. But let's get right into this. If you're new to the channel, my name is Jacob Restituto. I'm a musician from Northport, New York, and let's see what we got.
Ladies and gentlemen, Olivia Rodrigo.
Hate to give the satisfaction asking how you're doing now. How's the castle built of people you pretend to care about? Just what you wanted. Look at you, cool guy, you got it. I see the parties and the diamonds. Sometimes when I close my eyes, 6 months of torture you sold, some forbidden paradise. I loved you truly. You gotta laugh at the stupidity.
Let's pause this really quick because there's a lot to talk about so far, and I don't want to get too far before we pause it. So, first thing I want to talk about is it's actually cool to see that they're using a real grand piano. It's very, very rare in live performance, particularly with touring artists, but also just in general with live performances that you actually see a grand piano. Logistically, it's just very difficult for a lot of reasons. They're organic instruments, and they like just like a guitar, are very susceptible to the temperature and the humidity, and and being moved. Like every time you move a piano, technically you need to tune it. So, and then if it gets really cold or really hot, like there's so many factors that affect the tuning of a piano, and a guitar, and every instrument. But it's a lot easier to tune a guitar or a clarinet or anything like, or a stringed instrument, right, like a violin, than a piano. I mean, you can see right here. To my understanding, if I remember correctly, every single note on the piano has 3 strings that you have to tune, essentially. So if there's 88 keys, whatever that math would be close to 270 strings that you'd have to tune, and that's insane. So that being said, a lot of artists, what they'll do is they'll have a key, like a full piano shell, like a grand piano shell, or even upright piano shell, and they'll have an electric keyboard inside of there, and it'll be like a cool compromise where it'll look like the aesthetic of a grand piano, and it'll probably even sound like it. Most people don't even notice the difference, but you don't have to worry about tuning it because you have just the electric, likely a Nord piano in there instead. Taking it, we'll go back to right where we are, but I want to show you. Listen really close to after he introduces her. You can hear the crowd, and then you hear it get really quiet. What I'm assuming there is they have crowd microphones. I'm assuming, and then you actually pull them down so that it just focuses more on her microphones, and it's cool that you can actually hear that. Listen,
Ladies and gentlemen, Olivia Rodrigo.
actually, I don't know. Now that I'm listening back, it could very well be just that they have like an applause sign and it dies out and they say, okay, like stop applauding. Actually, I take back that comment. I don't know the answer to that, but I thought that it was cool they were riding the favor of that. But regardless, the melody of the song is so unique. It's like such a storytelling, like this, like angsty, like, and then this happened, and then this, and it's almost like you're like remembering what happened. The way like you like sometimes when you like word vomit to your friend like a story, like because you're upset or frustrated, and it's like, oh, and then he or she did this. Oh, and then there was this. Oh, and then you did that, and like that, you could hear it in the inflection of her voice as it kind of builds up the tension. It's really well written.
Real big mistakes, you make the worst. I look fine, I should have known it was strange. You only come out at night. I used to think I was smart. You made me look so naive. The way you sold me for parts and sunk your teeth into me. Oh, bloodsucker, dream crusher, bleeding me dry like a damn vampire.
There's so much vulnerability. Oh, I didn't realize she was going to start right there, so I would have paused it. There's so much vulnerability in the performances. So much can essentially go wrong. Like, meaning, when you have a full band one person hits a wrong note, it kind of gets covered up by the rest of the band, including even the vocalist. Not so much when you're just doing piano and vocals, because if the vocalist is off or if the piano is off, you hear it very much so, and it sounds phenomenal. And it's cool because like that takes a lot of vulnerability. I mentioned the reverb. There's a ton of reverb going on here. I would even be curious to hear what it would sound like if they pulled it back. It's a very bright, very big, long reverb. And I'd be curious because this is such like an intimate song, especially the way that's written in the verses. And you could hear, I mean, reverb is it works essentially with volume too. So like the louder you sing something, the more you hear the reverb. It's triggered essentially by the volume, just like natural reverb would be. Or can be if you program it that way, triggered by the volume. But so you don't hear it as much in the verses as you do in the chorus when she's kind of belting out a little more. But still, I think even in the chorus, I would be curious to hear what it would sound like with less reverb.
You were bad news, you called them crazy. God, I hate the way I called them crazy too. You're so convincing.
Such a great storyline, man.
How do you lie without flinching?
Actually, no, you do hear the reverb so much in here. I'd be curious to hear if they pulled back the reverb a little bit.
What a mesmerizing, paralyzing, tragic little thrill. Can't figure out just how you do it, and God knows I never will. And for me, not her, 'cause girls your age know better. I've made some real big mistakes. You make the worst one look fine. I should have known it was strange. You only come out at night. I used to think I was smart. You made me look so naive.
Her voice has gotten crazy tight.
And
the intonation's wild.
Into me. Oh, blood sucker, dream crusher, bleeding me dry like a damn vampire. You said it was true love, but wouldn't that be hard? You can't love anyone, 'cause that would mean you had a heart. I tried to help you out, now I know that I can't, 'cause how you think's the kind of thing I'll never understand.
I gotta say, I want to reiterate what I was saying before. I feel like the reverb kind of takes away a little bit from the performance, just because and this is not an Olivia performance thing. I'm saying more like the production wise. It's a little hard to understand all of the words. I feel like as somebody that doesn't know all the words, with all the reverb going on, it's drowning out her voice a little bit. That's just a personal producer thing that I as somebody that loves reverb, I do feel like this performance would have been more justified with even a little less, to hear more of her voice and piano straight directly. One thing I find really unique about this song and in general, and the way she's promoted it, is it's very, very rare. It happens, but it's very rare that you see an artist promoting a single and playing live a single as well, to that matter. Just as like piano and vocals, like you saw it like All of Me, John Legend. You see with a couple artists here and there, like Ed Sheeran has a couple here and there that he's done, where it's a bit more acoustic, like, but still, like, if usually you want your more exciting tracks, as they say, like more like produced and you know, just a lot more instruments to catch people's attention. But I agree with this decision here. Like that's not always doesn't need to be the case, because if it's a good song, it's a good song, and put the good song first, you know. But like usually the record label will push more towards the poppier songs as opposed to the ballads. So I think this is cool, man. It takes guts, no pun intended, or pun intended.
I've made some real big mistakes. You make the worst one look fine. I should have known it was strange. You only come out at night. I used to think I was smart. You made me look so naive. The way you sold me for parts and sunk your teeth into me. Oh, blood sucker, dream crusher, bleeding me dry like a damn vampire.
I like the audience look right there. Very cool. Like she's making making eyes to the audience. Very cool. I also appreciate the clean version. Like when you have a song that can very easily be one or two lines be shifted to perform clean, I think that is really cool, and I always appreciate that as an artist. So I thought this was a phenomenal performance. Really, like you could see as she gets more and more comfortable with her songs and performing that these levels of performances just get better and better. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what your thoughts in the comments are below, and send me a text if you have any questions or requests. God bless and peace out.